Hi everybody and welcome to another exciting episode of the Ungrownups video transmission. I'm your host Mark and today we're going to be taking a look at the just released Hot Toys movie masterpiece series X-Men Wolverine The Last Stand. This is a phenomenal box. It's much larger than your standard Marvel's Avengers box. This is actually more along the lines of the Black Spider-Man box that we got last year. It is quite huge, as you can see. Size of my hand compared. Or maybe I should do that. That's pretty tough. Oh man, I got Wolverine claws. Check that out. That's pretty cool. I love how the front of the box looks exactly like Wolverine's suit. The box is very striking because it's like real close in on the chest. It actually really reminds me of, I never bought this figure, but it reminds me of the Bruce Wayne prototype suit. I forgot what it's called, like the spelunking gear, like his climbing gear suit. I remember it had like the buckles. It was like all black and gold. Man, this just looks so tough. And it's a very smooth surface except for where the claws are. They're very, they're raised on the board, and it's actually embossed, so it feels different. And they're very reflective and shiny. So if you could listen, it kind of pulls a little bit when you get across there. Flipping it around, got Wolverine, MMS 187 on the side. Bigger picture of Wolverine here, and quite possibly the best part of this box is this massive image of the figure on the back. I have to say, I'm a huge fan of doing this. This box is amazing, and that striking bright yellow against that black is just super tough. I would have preferred if they didn't do like this gold overlay and maybe just put a truncated version of the credits here. Or maybe no credits at all. Maybe put them on the inside. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of a fan now of the way Marvel boxes are, to where there's very little credits, if none on the if not none on the back. So yeah, it looks really cool. And opening the box up here, I'll show you. Come on, we're wasting people's time. Open up. Huge picture of Wolverine right there on the inside once you get it opened up. Really nice. Sparks flying, flame, embers rotating around him. Looks really cool. Love this picture. So very cool. Taking this down. I'm not sure how much of this you'll be able to see with all the reflections going on. But basically you've got Wolverine standing up right here. The Sentinel head base here. Hand pegs. The two relaxed palms and the two claws. I think everybody's pretty much in agreement that this is probably the only figure we'll get this year where I think people universally would be happy if these were the only hands we got, if we got no other hands. I got to tell you, for what this guy cost, and he doesn't come with a lot, and I didn't pay any more than retail for this guy. I mean, I picked him up for $234.99, and that's pretty much what he is everywhere here in the States, Sideshow, Big Bad Toy Store, things like that. So I didn't pay any extra to get him early, but for what I paid, I think they could have kept the fist, they could have kept the extra hands, and they could have given me the gloved claw hands and maybe claw hands, regular claw hands without gloves on, nude hands. I think that would have been awesome, because I actually am thinking about probably displaying this guy, maybe picking up a different suit for him. I may end up having to pick up the first Wolverine set of hands. I don't know. I love the suit. And I don't want to go drop the money that the first figure costs. So I don't know what I do. I may customize this guy a little bit, but yeah, this guy is looking like super tough. I really want to get him open, but before we move on to that, I do want to show that the seller did include one of these Iron Man bags. I did not know this was in the box. I would have included it with the unboxing, but I did not know it was in the box until I started throwing everything away. Got the big 3 logo on one side and Marvel Iron Man 3 Hot Toys on the back. This is gonna be really cool because I am actually getting the Mark 7 soon, and so that'll be kind of cool to have. I've never actually gotten a bag, and I didn't know that they give those bags out outside of Hong Kong. I thought that was the only place you got them, but nonetheless, there it was in the box. So let's get this guy opened up and take a closer look at Wolverine. Okay, so here's Wolverine opened up and out of the box, and as you can see, he doesn't come with a lot. I mean, basically, you're paying the extra cash for this big honking base, like the Black Spider-Man that came out last year. Of course, again, you were paying for a big base, so this is a really good comparison to this figure. But I got to tell you, this Wolverine figure is off the chain. The suit, the styling of the suit, the tailoring of the suit, the stitching, the colors, it's just amazing. And when I first saw the prototype, I was like, I don't know, I'm kind of on the fence. But the more and more I saw the pictures, I was like, yeah, this is looking pretty good. And like I said before, I'm always really leery when they go about sculpting teeth. Because, if you don't do it just right, it can look a little weird, or the teeth can look a little big or a little separated. But in hand, the head sculpt is amazing. It looks so incredibly cool. And I know a lot of people are not, they're not really on board when it comes to emotional faces, showing emotions or showing, certain facial expressions. But I gotta say, this really, really, really works. The hair sculpting is great. And we're gonna take a closer look at all this, of course. But I just wanted to show a good overall look at what comes with the package. And you'll also notice the flight stand. Well, I say flight stand, display stand. It's actually not a flight stand. As you can see, it's quite a bit shorter than normal flight stands are. It's definitely shorter than anything that's ever come with an Iron Man figure or the one that came with Superman. This is actually the shortest of all display stands that we've gotten. And you guys know recently I created my own display stand, and I have to say that I'm a huge fan of the length of this. If I can show you here, there's the difference. You can see it's about 2 inches shorter, and I really, really dig this size. Since this is not a flying character, he is a jumping, leaping character. I may actually swap the taller stand for this one and use this as my review base stand, because it's not as tall and doesn't get in the way as much. So I'm really excited about this shorter base. I didn't know they showed a shorter stand. I didn't know they made those. So that's going to be really cool. We're going to look at the base separately as an accessory in just a minute. So yeah, I just wanted to give you a quick view of what comes right out of the box, and let's take a closer look at the accessories before diving into Wolverine. Okay, first and foremost, I want to look at some of the hands that come with Wolverine, and each of his sets of hands are identical. You've got 2 punching fists here. Nice detailing on the glove. And I will say, first and foremost, that the hand pegs come pretty tight in his wrist. And so, I have a tendency to want to immediately start throwing hand pegs into my favorite hands. And so I don't have to, take the hand pegs in and out of the hands too much. I just replace them at the wrist. And since, each Hot Toys figure comes with a couple sets of hand pegs, after a couple figures, that's pretty easy to do. But I have to tell you, the hand pegs are well stuck into Wolverine's wrists. So you'll notice that none of my hands actually have hand pegs in them, because they feel pretty sturdy in there. So setting these aside, he does come with a pair of relaxed gauntlets, relaxed fist. I really like these. They're very reminiscent of Batman's hands. I love that you can see where there's places for the claws to come out, to accentuate the knuckles. That's really cool. They keep the 3 lines going on the back of his gloves. Really, really nice. The sculpted stitching work looks really, really cool. Nice texture on the inside of the gloves. Set these aside, and of course, let's get to the claws. I think these are pretty much the only hands that anybody's ever going to be using with this figure. And to let you know, well, I guess they do sound kind of plastic, but they are indeed metal. But they are quite sharp actually, and pretty much the only useful information in the instructions is that, be careful of the claws because they are indeed sharp. And I will show you this. There's quite a bit of give to the claws. I don't know if they're meant to be moved a lot, but you can see you can actually push them in a little bit and you can actually separate them quite a bit. But they do start to feel a little loose. So I don't know how much you really want to do that. But as you can see, both sets are identical and they look quite nice. These are really, really impressive. I actually would have preferred if they kept the other two sets of hands and just included another set of claw hands without the gloves on. That would have been really nice. But yeah, I guess beggars can't be choosers. So let's take a look at this awesome Sentinel. Okay, base. So here is the Sentinel head base that comes with a Wolverine, which first impression is cool, I guess. I think the very first time I saw this base, I was like, I don't remember there being Sentinels in Last Stand. Did they make this up for the toy? I had to go back and actually watch it, and I was like, oh, there's a Sentinel in the training sequence for like a half second, and we never see its body. We just see two lights in the smog or in the fog in the background between the smoke. And, Wolverine asks to be thrown by Colossus, and he gets thrown up into the air kind of sillily, and then this thing sort of lands in the dirt in front of him, and then Wolverine steps out from behind him. So, so two things about that. One, this is not to scale to the size in the film to what Wolverine would have been able to step behind. He literally was able to step out from behind the head. So it's not to scale. And the other thing is, Wolverine was not in the black and yellow leather suit when this scene took place with the Sentinel. He was actually in like street clothes, like a leather jacket and jeans. So I don't know. I guess it just kind of makes it kind of weird that they included this. Maybe it's to sort of justify the higher price of the figure. I'm not really sure. Personally, I would rather this thing not been included at all. Just give me the regular stand and knock $25 over. I would much rather prefer this figure be $199, $194 in that range, and not come with this space. But such is life. We have the space, and it is kind of cool. So as you can see, very nice detailing. It's got some rocky areas, some mud and muck around where it would have landed and slid through, the muck on the ground. You've got several areas where it's been slashed by Wolverine, like right here is 3 claw marks. Of course, this huge monstrous gash across the forehead and the top of the helmet. You do have some light up eyes. We'll show you that in just a second. Turning around here on the back, you can see where it looks like Wolverine would have sliced his face off right here, and then 3 slices right here around. Hopefully you can see that, like right there. This sort of little standout button here, it kind of looks like these here, but this is indeed the button that turns the device on and off. And all in all, I hope you can see this. It definitely feels like there's a hard inner base inside this thing, but this is a very soft and very pliable rubber all the way around. This right here, not so soft, but you can see it does have some give to it and some bend. So all in all, it feels kind of rubbery and hollow. But there does seem to be like an inner piece inside that's sort of hard. So we're going to turn this on, and you can see what that looks like. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. Let me see if I can close my blinds and see if that'll help show off the figure a little bit better. Here, let me turn it off. Turn it back on. So, as you can see, it does light up in there. It looks like there's one central light that shines through both eyes because it's more prominent as you turn it. So I'm pretty sure that's the case. There's just one central light in there. So yeah. Two AAA batteries is what it takes. I would have preferred it come with one AA battery, so I don't have to keep putting two batteries in here. But then again, I'll probably never use the light up feature, so I'll probably just go ahead and take the batteries out altogether. That way I don't have to worry about it corroding anyway. So yeah, there's the base. Let's move on to Wolverine and give him the once over. Give him the old up and down. Okay, zooming in here on old Hugh Jackman here. I can tell you, for those of you wanting to do your own custom Les Mis figure using Hugh Jackman, I don't think this face sculpt is going to help you out very much. It is a pretty gnarly face sculpt. He is quite angry, quite upset, and he is looking quite rough. I really like this head sculpt. The teeth do not bother me. The angry eyes do not bother me. If I had to find a complaint about the head sculpt, I guess I'd say, to me, the nose looks a little long. I just think there are certain positions you can get the head in, and I think it's bang on Hugh Jackman Wolverine, and then some other positions, not so much. Right there, not so much Wolverine. There, yeah, I think it gets better. I think, when the head's tilting down, it looks much better. And I will say that it's coming across much brighter and more lighter in color than in person. In person, in hand, there's not so much difference in skin tone between the cheek and the hair. On his mutton chops, they blend very nicely, but on camera it looks quite brighter. I'm not sure why. Indeed, that is. The hair is phenomenal. I love the hair here. It does look like they got a little sloppy with the paint. Looks a little light right there in that area, but I'm sure I can fix that, no problem. Moving down to the suit, you can see it's very well tailored, very nice. I don't remember this texture from the film, but like this right here, if you can hear that, it's very cloth and cotton like. Of course, the rest of this is a very faux leather. That is a real, indeed, fact working zipper. But the problem with that zipper is that you can only get it down to about right here. I'm sure you could pull the vest away enough to sort of get these two yellow piping sections out of the way to unzip the jacket all the way. But the other thing is I'm not sure how you take the buckle off, because this is actually through the jacket. So you can see underneath that the zipper does, and underneath there the jacket is actually separated right there. But as to how you get that buckle off, I don't know. I really want to take his shirt off, the jacket off, to see underneath. There is a black shirt underneath there, and you can actually see it when you unzip this all the way down. You can actually see it's torn, but there's a ripped sort of black tee. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. Probably not. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to see it. There's actually a black t-shirt underneath that actually may, now that I think about it, it may actually be the black padding to sort of give him some extra bulk underneath this figure, because to get that jacket to fit nicely, I'm pretty sure they put a slimmer body. They definitely, I don't know, I guess I would have to guess that they didn't use the muscular body. And so he's probably beefed up with some padding. But nonetheless, it looks really nice. You've got some sort of stretchy kind of lycra material here on the side, and the little slash marks going around to his arm. You can see very nice stitching all the way down the arm, the length of the arm. It's really nice, and you can see the different types of faux leather used to create the different layers in his jacket. Let's turn it around here on the back so you can see. Again, this material here, very cloth and cotton-like up against the faux leather. And then here again is that different material that's piped. It's lots of lines and very textured. Doesn't really feel stretchy, but just a completely open back. Again, I'm pretty sure that that's movie accurate, but I don't know for sure. I don't know, maybe it's Hot Toys' way of just saving some faux leather money. I'm not sure. Moving down to the pants. Again, you can see some of that same material on the back from here is right here. Then we go back into the rippled faux leather again. Some more stitching. There's you can look at the back here. You can see, sorry, the sun just got really bright through the window. You can see that the jacket sleeves are indeed zippered, like right here. The zipper does move up and down, but the sleeve is still connected by a thread right here. So you could cut that thread and then unzip this to have the sleeves exposed, or the arms exposed a little bit. Not sure why you'd want to do that, but you certainly could, I guess, if you wanted to. So let me stand him back up. I will say that the articulation on this guy is quite nice. His ankles and legs are actually very, very loose, which is good for poseability, but it also makes him kind of lean forward from time to time without the space. So let's see if I can get in here really nice on these boots and shoes. Show you those. Nice yellow thread work all the way down the stitching. And then you've got the boot here. Let's see if I can lift this up. It's not a full boot. It's like a little short half boot. Oh, come on. Work with me without falling over, please. There you go. You can see it's sort of a half boot. But it looks really nice. Yeah, you see, he has a tendency to want to lean back. He's got very weak ankles. Sorry if that's not in focus. Really nice. There's some weathering done to the sides of the boots, and I'll show you the underneath part. Just looks like a standard tread on there. It doesn't have as extensive of the weathering as, like, say, the Avengers boots do, Hawkeye and Thor and Cap so far, but they do look nice. If I did have a complaint about the suit, which I don't have many, but if I did, it would be how much flare there is on that boot. And man, I'm really sorry, but the sun is like super bright coming through the window. Let me close this up a little bit so we can see a little better. There we go. Sorry about that. You can see that it's really tight up near the knee, and then it flares out so much down here at the bottom. I noticed this in several of the prototype photos and knew right off the bat it was one of the things that I didn't like about the pants. I just don't like this sort of bowed out look, and you can see it's quite a bit. So maybe some creative folding and wrinkling on the pants will help, but it's quite noticeable on both legs exactly how much they do flare out towards the bottom of the boot, or the top of the boot. Sorry. Yeah, so that's a little problem. I would rather them be a little more tailored than that. But that would probably be my only real complaint with this suit. That maybe in that the fact that the jacket doesn't really unzip all the way. I don't know. I have to investigate to see if this is removable, because I think this outfit would look quite nice if you were able to take the jacket off and he just had like a t-shirt on underneath, smoking a cigar. That'd be kind of cool, huh? Okay, so one thing I want to show off before we get into the poses is some of the articulation, because I really don't want to cover this like in the outro. So just to show you, his head is inside of the rubber neck. There is a rubber neck here, and you are able to actually remove the head. It's just on a little plastic peg that fits down pretty well inside that rubber neck, so you can get quite a range, moving down, moving up, tilted up. I'm really pleased with the amount of articulation, and that the head is easy to remove, because to me, sometimes with Hot Toys figures, removing the head can be a little scary. I'm not seeing too much shoulder movement right here, as far as like moving up or moving down. It seems like you could do it a little bit, but not getting a lot. But I do believe that you are getting the double jointed elbow in here, because you can get the arm up pretty close to the chest, as you can see. A lot better than your standard, single joint at the elbow. This is really nice. And again, something that would have been really good to include with Bane, of course, without having to mod the figure yourself or change the upper body. But that double jointed elbow does give you a really good range of motion there. Also, because the only thing really connecting the upper torso and the lower body is that black, as you can see, that black undersuit. Since the two pieces are not connected, you can get quite a bit of motion with the figure. You can actually turn him almost completely to each side, which is really, really nice. The faux leather pants are not all that restrictive. As you can see, you can get a pretty good range of motion in the upper thigh area, rotating the upper thigh. And then you do have the double jointed knee in there, so you're able to get some really nice bending poses with the knees. So nice crouching poses. And with the feet, you get a really good range, because since it is such a short boot, you can get some really nice poses, and it's got a really nice rocker on it as well. So quite a bit of poseability in the legs, which is great for a character that's sort of designed for crouching and everything. So okay, now that we got that covered, let's take a look at some poses. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed those poses, and to be perfectly clear and honest about those last two shots with him holding the cigar, he does not actually come with a cigar. That was a cigar I had from a large format Hellboy action figure, and I just thought it looked pretty cool, and his hand held it, so thought I would throw that in there. So wish he did come with one. That'd be kind of cool, but unfortunately he does not. So I'm super happy about the posability. I'm super happy with the tailoring of the suit. I'm kind of on the fence about the accessories. I would have, much rather have had less hands, more claw hands, and then, without this silly Sentinel base. But he does look quite cool standing on it. So I don't know, and it's not as big as some of the other bases they've put out. The Indiana Jones or the Superman or the Black Spider-Man base. So that being said, I actually may end up putting him in this pose on my shelf and leaving him standing on that Sentinel head, because he does look really, really, really cool. So all in all, I am super, super happy to have this guy in my collection. He looks phenomenal. And, having missed out on the original Hot Toys Wolverine, I'm really glad to have an HT Wolverine in my collection, because he looks quite nice. So I definitely do recommend picking this figure up. he is just now starting to hit your favorite retailers and stores. So definitely pick this guy up if you can find him for a reasonable price. And with the way Hot Toys figures are selling now, you never know if something's going to sit on the shelf forever or be gone like Hawkeye. So shop at your own risk or pass on him at your own risk. You never know; he may be one of those that sell out. But I would expect that he would because of the quality and reasonably lower price point with this figure. So I am super happy to have this guy in my collection. So I definitely recommend him. So as always, we're going to ask if you guys dug the video to please like, comment, or subscribe. Be sure to join in the conversation over at facebook.com/ungrownups, and be sure to please check out our podcast, which is new every 2 weeks over at ungrownups.com, or you can download it at iTunes. Just search for Ungrownups Podcast. So until next time, peace.